Far from the bustling streets of Edo, a terrifying hell mouth lay open. At Suzugamori, an average of 10 criminals were executed monthly, with many more perishing from torture. Yet, these execution grounds were not merely places of punishment. They were intricately linked to the medical practices and daily lives of the people. Why were criminals made an example of? Where did the executed bodies go? And how did ordinary people view these sites? Now, let us delve into the unknown truths of Kozukappara and Suzugamori, two of Edo's execution grounds. In this feature, we will detail the cruel execution methods and the surprising uses for the deceased. During the Keicho era, shortly after the establishment of the Edo shogunate, the urgent need for large-scale execution grounds arose to maintain public order. The chosen locations were Kozukappara, at Edo's northern entrance, and Suzugamori, at its southern gateway. Though distant from the city center, these sites faced major highways, making them ideal for public executions. Kozukappara in the north primarily executed samurai and monks, while Suzugamori in the south handled commoners, each serving distinct roles. This reveals an astonishing truth of the rigidly hierarchical Edo period. Even executions were segregated by social status. Execution methods varied, including beheading, crucifixion, burning at the stake, and sawing, their cruelty escalating with the severity of the crime. Particularly heinous crimes were street murder, arson, and robbery murder, with perpetrators often subjected to crucifixion. Crucifixion was a brutal punishment where criminals were tied to a cross and impaled with spears, performed openly before spectators. Beheading was the most common method. Criminals were decapitated, and their heads displayed on a gakumendai, or execution scaffold. Heads on the gakumendai remained for days, serving as a gruesome deterrent to impress upon the populace the gravity of their crimes. Executions were, for the people of Edo, a form of entertainment. Large crowds gathered at the execution grounds to witness the spectacle. It said some even brought packed lunches and drank sake while watching, a scene unimaginable in modern times. Executions simultaneously showcased the shogunate's authority, served as a moral lesson for commoners, and provided entertainment. Once executions concluded, bodies were not simply left. In many cases, they were transported to other locations. In fact, these bodies played an extremely vital role in the advancement of Japanese medicine at the time. Executed bodies were used for fuwake, or dissection. This was an indispensable practice for incorporating Western medical knowledge. Notably, when Sugita Genpaku and others translated Kaitai Shinsho, they reportedly performed actual fuwake at Kozukappara's execution grounds to verify its accuracy. That medicine advanced in such a way, behind the cruelty of executions, is indeed an astonishing historical truth. Bodies not used for dissection were taken by temples adjacent to the execution grounds and respectfully interred as Nuenboku, or unmourned dead. Temples like Ikoin near Kozukappara and Daikyoji near Suzugamori existed, serving the role of mourning the souls of criminals. For samurai, the execution grounds also served as a place for tamashigiri, or sword testing. Deceased bodies were used to test the sharpness of newly forged blades. Unbelievable by modern standards, this was yet another facet reflecting the harsh realities of samurai society. Despite being places intimately associated with death, the areas around the execution grounds surprisingly buzzed with activity. Near Suzugamori, tea houses and sideshows lined the streets, with vendors doing business catering to execution spectators. A place of death simultaneously becoming a place of livelihood. This strange coexistence perhaps showcases the resilience of Edo's common people. Furthermore, execution grounds were rife with superstitions and ghost stories. Rumors spread that the specters of criminals would appear at night. These tales, while fueling public fear, were also passed down as ghost stories, becoming subjects for literature and entertainment. Execution grounds served as a deterrent, making people conscious of death and the consequences of crime, while also being a birthplace for stories. For people in the Edo period, death was far more commonplace than it is today. Losing one's life to illness or famine was not uncommon. Perhaps this is why public executions offered people an opportunity to confront the reality of death. Many executed criminals likely met their end with profound regret. Yet, it can also be said that their deaths were not meaningless. Their remains contributed to medical advancement, and their stories lived on in people's minds, playing a part in shaping Edo culture and morality. Today, little trace remains of Kozukappara and Suzugamori as they once were. However, their history continues to be told. Why were criminals made examples of? It was for the shogunate to control commoners through fear and maintain order. Where did the executed bodies go? Many were used for medical dissections or interred as muenbok in temples. And how did commoners view the execution grounds? As a spectacle, a lesson, and a place to confront death. Edo's execution grounds were not merely places to punish crime. They were complex spaces deeply intertwined with social order, medical advancement, and the human psyche. The history of Kozukappara and Suzugamori may very well be teaching us about the light and shadow of the Edo period and the profound depths of human existence.